the first Jewish monument, menorah, which appeared here in Kiev to commemorate Jewish victims of Babi Yar. It appeared here in 1991.
Before there was no monument.
There was monument, but just Soviet monument, 1976. And when later we look at the Soviet monument, you won't find any Jewish faces there. It was time policy of anti-Semitism, and they put just monument to victims, Soviet civilians of Babi Yar, without any mention of Jewish victims. Yeah.
How many people died in Babi Yar?
Altogether, they were very different, because Germans before left Kiev 1943, they burnt everything. They destroyed
all
bodies.
The evidence.
Yeah. So approximately scientists tell from 100,000 to 150,000, about from 50,000 to 100,000 Jewish victims, because there were also Ukrainians, Russians, Gypsies. So
right.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. It was. This is.
And where were they killed?
They were killed. I will. So
show us.
we also don't know exactly, because the people who survived tell the Soviet monument very far from time of shooting. This monument is also not correct place.
Yes.
But the victims who escaped, many of them were children.
Yes.
So approximately this is just this way. Approximately. But everything was several times destroyed after the Second War. So very
hard to tell.
At first destroyed by Germans, by Soviets. Okay, if you would like, let's go.
24 hectares, and this is all the cemetery ones before it was destroyed.
Jewish community in Chronicles, second part of the 10th century. It is written there. Here that about Lukyanivsky Jewish cemetery. Lukyanivka, this is this part of the city, was built, you can see the date, over there, according to project of famous architect Nikolaev. So it was Jewish, Karaim and Muslim parts, as I told you. Also building of the office I showed you.
Yes, that's the building of the office as it was.
No. This is Bessarabsky market. Bessarabsky market, we will see who constructed Lazar Brodsky.
Okay.
This is, please look at this picture, how Babi Yar looked. I even don't take these pictures on my Kindle because I can't.
Yeah, this was where people were killed in the trenches.
Yes. This is, look, 1941.
Wow.
2930.
This is an original photograph.
Yes.
And this is the murdered victims.
This is murdered victims. This is all started on 29 of September.
1941.
So they put people. Okay, so let me tell you how it happened. I stopped my story when people were ordered to come to certain point with some clothes and so on. When people come to this point, it was surrounded by fence and people could not go back. A few of them understood what is going on, started to cry, sorry, started to cry that we are not Jewish. It was one lady, elderly lady now, was a small girl then, and she remembers.
She still lives today.
She still lives. Her grandmother understood and started to cry, we are not Jewish, and she had this girl, but the German kicked her very hard to her shoulder. She dropped, but still she took her granddaughter, started to run away. They started to shoot, and the cemetery was nearby. So they started to run, and one girl 12 years old together with them. They shoot, but they ran away, and this small girl survived. And now we very interesting TV show about Kiev, walks around Kiev, and one of them dedicated to Jewish Kiev. And so this lady told the story. The story, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Sure. It's
Yeah,
heavy.
and so when they brought people here, they ordered them to take off all their clothes and started to beat them severely in order people not to struggle.
Right.
Many people, when they understood, got mad. Many became grey in few minutes. Their hairs became grey.
Yeah.
When the mothers have babies on their hands, they took the babies and threw them away to the ravine.
Wow.
Yeah, and some parents or grandparents, when they were put on the top of ravine, and few seconds before shooting, they managed to push children down. Yeah.
So that they would survive.
Yeah, and some children
Managed to
climbed,
climb up
yeah,
and
and some
survive.
survived. Because there were different people in Kiev. There were some Ukrainians who became policemen of Germans
Yes.
and who took part in shooting.
Yeah.
But there were also many families who risking their life
To save
to hid people. So of course you know that there is a special, how to call it, a garden of righteous.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
For the righteous Gentiles.
The
Yeah.
righteous Gentiles.
Yeah. So Ukrainian nation on the fourth place among these Gentiles. About saving.
Because you know, it's not so simple. Those who saved, if they were caught, they were killed and their families were killed.
Yeah, of course.
So it wasn't, it was a big deal. It was a
It
very,
was
it was-
very big deal. It was very human deeds.
it's
to-
very, to put your own life and your family's life at stake.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Walk down is yes.
No, let's walk down this way.
Yes.
I'll show you the places. And it was.
So it's Babi Yar. What is Babi Yar? Is that the pit?
Babi Yar
Where they-
doesn't exist anymore,
Yes.
but it existed before revolution for many
Yes.
centuries, and it was very deep and long ravine.
Ravine.
Oh,
Right.
Ravine from 10 to 50 meters deep.
Yeah.
And about 2.5 kilometers long.
Yes.
But Soviets, after the Second World War, destroyed it.
Yes.
We have just some remains. I will show you
Okay.
some
But
places.
Jews were killed. They were killed in the trenches.
Yes,
Yes.
a little bit further,
Further
that,
in,
that
yeah.
direction. And it was the entrance. Here,
This was the entrance.
here was the gate. Here was the
Yes.
gate to the Jewish cemetery. And it was office of Jewish cemetery.
Oh, this was the office of the Jewish.
Yes, yes, it was the office. You can see, of course, pre-revolutionary, early
Yeah.
20s. Cemetery was also built late 19th, and it was huge, 24 hectares.
Wow.
This direction and that direction.
And what is it today, the building?
Today, you can see, I think, probably empty.
Empty.
I don't know. Because that way, there is some sports grounds. So Soviets did everything to destroy this place.
Are there any
after.
stones left from the cemetery? Yes. There are.
Okay.
But just very few. Immediately graves there were here.
There were graves.
They put it on graves. So now this is TV Central Lithuania.
This was once part of the cemetery. It's a Jewish cemetery, and now it's the TV center of Ukraine.
Because after the Second World War, it was full of anti-Semitism. One of the reasons was when Israel became the state. Yeah. At first, Soviet Union, voted.
They voted for, yeah.
But then,
They went again.
yeah, then government told we don't support Stalin methods. Yeah.
Yes.
And so it started anti-Semitism policy, which was directed here at Jewish. Kiev was badly destroyed, and many people people from all over Soviet Union coming to reconstruct, and they told our primary aim to restore the city, and they would like to make here flat area and to construct high rises.
You know
on
what?
it.
That's amazing. They're probably bones.
Yes.
Underground.
And Babi Yar was completely destroyed.
Yes, completely. Unfortunately, no bones anymore. They were a lot after the war, but I'll tell you why not now.
Yeah.
Because at the end, 1943, the Germans killed people here for 2 years. So shooting did not stop almost.
2 years.
Yeah, for 2 years. But they killed during first 2 days, probably you know, read more than 33,000
Yeah,
people. First
yeah.
2 days.
In Babi Yar. Wow.
Majority Jewish. So okay, now we have to go down to that.
Okay. This was once the cemetery, and there's the ravine, and it's very possible here where the pits were in Babi Yar.
Ukraine, 380 meters. And at this place it was also cemetery.
Almost cemetery. Wow, this is also cemetery.
A Jewish cemetery or everybody?
Because several cemeteries. Majority of area of Ukraine was occupied
By Germany, by the Nazis.
almost for 4 years by the Nazis. And here in many villages there was strong partisan movement
Against the Nazis.
against the Nazis. And in these cases, we can yes, try to have continue. And Germans took all people from the village to the biggest building. They were very often the case. Took all people to this building and burnt alive people.
Burnt alive.
Everybody, yeah.
And
whole villages.
how many Ukrainians died under the Nazis? In the
9 million.
Sure.
9 million so soldiers and people on the occupied areas.
So how do the Ukrainians feel about Germany today? It must be very difficult.
It's like past. So we remember, but usually they were our grandfathers, grandfathers. So feel not very well, but not. We feel now much worse about Russians.
About Russians, wow.
About Russians because they.
Then you had the
Russians,
communists after the war. Then you got the communists.
You mean the second after the
After the Second World War, then.
Yeah, Soviets came back here. Yeah.
Sure, it's a hard history, hey?
Yeah. And also one more reason why they did not put the monument to Jewish here after the Second War.
Yeah, why did they not put monuments to Jewish
so
after?
there were different reasons I told to your wife, but one of the reasons was when people were on the occupied areas and lived under Germans, so they were automatically guilty for Stalin regime. It doesn't matter that these people were teenagers or women or disabled who could live. They were guilty that they stay here when Germans were here.
Wow.
Yeah, and many people who were prisoners of war, Soviet soldiers, and when they come back from the war, they were put to concentration camp as a traitors.
As traitors?
Yeah.
Sure.
Soviet regime, it was one of the most horrible regime during history of humanity. Because we have one museum where we can show different documents showing crimes of communists. So during the Second World War, altogether in the world died 60 million people. Because of crimes of communist regime, died 100 million people.
Sure.
All over the world, yeah.
All over the world?
Yeah.
100 million?
Yeah, so Hitler and Stalin were both absolutely horrible people. Yeah. And for example, I can tell you example. You remember we passed the huge building, Cabinet of Ministries?
Yeah, yeah.
Which was originally KGB. Originally it was KGB, yeah? And very close to this building was a smaller building where they tortured people, and they shoot. And they shoot and tortured so many people, there were so many blood, that they made the special hole in the floor in order blood could...
Gee,
yeah.
that's unbelievable.
Okay,
Eh?
and now, okay, let me go to the driver, because I was shooting and forgot to go to the driver.
This was all part of the Jewish cemetery. Totally destroyed. Babi Yar.
It is written in Ukrainian to the children which were shot to death in Babi Yar.
When was this monument put up?
This is 2001.
Look, they have with the kippah.
Sorry?
And the little boy, he's got like what I'm wearing, a kippah, a yarmulke. Wow. So what does the inscription say?
Inscription says that it's dedicated, it's in Ukrainian, it's dedicated to children who were shot to death in Babi Yar, in Babi Ravine. Babi Yar, this is Babi Ravine.
If you look to
1941. Yeah, because the shooting went on for 2 years. But many people were killed just during...
look how they do with the head. With
yeah,
the,
because they did not stop shooting for 24 hours.
At least it got him around.
this is a monument about people who were taken here. It's in Russian. This is a list of the monuments.
Monuments, yes. It's a map of all the monuments.
Yeah, this is a map of National Historical Memorial Preserve Babi Yar.
Yeah.
Some short information.
Okay.
They were Ashkenazis.
Ashkenaz,
And
right.
so then probably you know...
They spoke Yiddish.
Yeah, they spoke Yiddish. But then, of course, during, for example, Empress Elizabeth, they could stay in any city, but they had to convert it into Christianity. Yeah, and it was limitation for studying Jewish people at universities.
Right, they couldn't study at the schools.
Yeah. On universities, it was just very strict, small percentage of Jewish stuff.
This, yeah. Okay. Could you possibly just translate what they...
In
Okay.
1941, 1943, German fascist occupators shot to death more than 100,000 civilian people of Kiev and prisoners of war.
And it's written in Russian, Ukrainian,
Russian, Ukrainian
and Yiddish.
Because as I told you live, majority of Jewish people have Ashkenazi, so their language was Yiddish.
And when was this monument erected?
1976. The first temporary monument was here 1966, and then later this monument, like permanent.
Something it's yeah. It doesn't say specifically Jewish or just general.
And war prisoners. Which produced bricks and all slide mud they put to Babi Yar, to ravines. Because one of the reasons was to eliminate the place. And the second reason, they thought that water go away from this clay, it will become solid, and then they construct terraces around. But the dam was constructed in wrong way, water did not go out, drainage was bad, and so at one moment this dam was broken, and a huge a lot of this like mud, 5 to 60 meters. This speed was about 60 kilometers. And it went to Babi Yar and to Wellington. And so all Babi Yar
Was destroyed.
Yeah.
Wow.
And during
This was 1960.
1961.
Wow.
1961. Altogether with 1,500 people during just few minutes. And so it was at the time dangerous to construct close because all this was this wet mud.